Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Intuitive Seek. We are going to be taking a little holiday pause on the energy updates for the next 2 Mondays. So the Monday that this episode is coming out and then the following Monday. And I will be back with January. So taking a little break and coming back strong for the January energy impressions. And I hope you can also take a little bit of a break. And I do feel like if you love listening to these every week, it is nice to take a step back once in a while to make sure that everything that you are developing with your intuition, with listening to the energy updates, that you can also to let yourself be guided by within to put your intuition into practice and to not worry so much about what is coming up, what the weather of the week is in the energy, but to be present and really connect to what you want to continue releasing before the new year and what you want to begin in the new year. This is that threshold energy that we are just kind of swimming in right now. And to take advantage of that, it's going within. And that is not always possible. I understand if you do have big holidays with a lot of people, especially if you're a mom, you're kind of in charge of everything, right? And that unseen labor, I see it. So thank you to all the moms. But I didn't want to just send a little message about see you in the new year, see you next year. I felt inspired to share more about what your personal energy for the numerology of next year might entail, the themes to look out for, and connecting to the energy of your personal numerology can help you get a bit more clarity about what you want to focus on, what you want to create, what you want to do. Because and if you heard in one of my previous episodes, I was talking about how 2025 was a 9-year and the numerology cycles of energy go in 9-year cycles. So now we're moving into a 1-year. But that doesn't mean that you personally are in a 1-year. And that personal number can offer a bit more clarity about the invitations and the opportunities and the themes around what 2026 is going to be for you and the potential. So, this is going to be more of a little bit of an intro of what I know about the numbers personally. And I'm going to be sharing excerpts from Life Cycles, which is one of my favorite numerology books. It's by Christine DeLorey. And if you haven't seen this book, it is pretty enlightening and very helpful to, like all of these beautiful tools that we have that can really help us connect to ourselves and our authentic, true selves in a much deeper way. All of the modalities are about self-exploration and knowledge so that you can move through the world in a more grounded, clear, intentional way. And you may be like me and 2 of my friends as well, the only other 2 people I know that also have parallel personal years to the collective year, because then the energy of the collective is amplified in your life as well. So if you add up to a 1, then you are going to be moving into a 1-year along with the collective. And it's really easy to find out what your number is. You just have to get your birth month, birthday, and then add both of those up to the year. So for me, I was born on August
19. So it would be 8 plus 1 plus 9, and then plus 2026, plus 2 plus 2 plus 6. And then you want to keep adding up until you get a single digit. So for 2026, mine added up to 28. 2 plus 8 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So you can do that for yourself. And there's so many other numbers like your life path number. That one is really interesting as well and can help you kind of focus in on and understand more about what you have been through and moving through. And one of the things I really love about connecting to your personal year is going back and seeing when the last time you had that number and what happened that year. You can really connect to some of the themes and opportunities that may be coming up for this next round. Like for me, 2017 was my last 1 year. And that was after the 9 year, which was very difficult, not as difficult as this year, not at all, but definitely super difficult. I was offered a job for a new company, but in the same industry in my 9 year, the last time in 2016. And it was not at all what I thought it would be, like at all. And at the time, I was not doing any of the work I'm doing now. So I didn't have as much clarity around my voice, what I wanted, what I needed. I had zero grounded energy. It was, yeah, it was really tough. But what happened after that 9 year, even though I felt like I had no choice, like now I probably, like in the headspace I'm in now and the grounded kind of authority that I have within, I would have put in my resignation the second day. I would have said, "Oh, this is not at all what I thought it would be. This is my mistake. I'm sorry." But I did stay for 6 months and I had a lot of crying in the morning, crying at night, so much anxiety. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But what happened the next year, I got offered a different job that was much better, paid way more, had much more connected to what I enjoyed doing at the time. And it really held me, that job that I found in 2017, because at the end of 2017, I started having my remembering. And so I did need that job to go through this like deep, dark night of the soul that I had through 2018 and 2019, because there's no way that I would have been supported to do that in the job that I took in my 9 year. But I most likely would not have gotten the other job in my 1 year if I didn't go through that. And I did need that job at the time, but now I see that in that 1 year, I had a choice because I was searching. I was searching for, what do I need to do? What is my purpose? Is this all there is? Like I was really hopeless and I was asking everyone around me and everyone that they were connected to and trying to find the answer from outside of myself over and over and over again until I realized, oh, that is not where the answer is going to be found. But it took me a long time to understand that. And that's why energy healing was such a big, big catalyst for me, because it allowed my energy to move into the spaces that stagnant energy had been held of stuck emotion and experience. And that was really clouding my ability to connect with my intuition and my soul and my heart and my creativity and what I actually enjoyed doing and my abilities and my skills and talents and all of these things that I was using in my old career, but I wasn't receiving anything back for my soul from it. It was definitely a way for me to implement some of the things that I like to do now, but in a way that was not serving me, only others. And ideally, we are serving others and receiving ourselves too. So now that I look at this 1 year where I didn't have the clarity of exactly what I needed to begin, that was really the beginning of this big change. Like my last 9 year cycle, I mean, it is lifetimes of change. It is kind of shocking where I am now from 2017. But now, with this 1 year coming up, I have grounded clarity for exactly what I feel called to work on and create in my business, in my writing. It's really amazing. And I feel so grateful, truly. So, yes, after sharing all of that, what I was trying to say is that if you look back at the different years, you can really see how far you have come, maybe the missed opportunity, and I'll say missed with an asterisk because nothing is ever really missed. It just is on its own time. So, yes, I'm going to give just like a little overview, not a full deep dive, but an overview for your year coming up and the themes and connections and insight about what the year can offer you. So, make sure you add up your month, your date of birth, and the year 2026 until you get to a single digit. And then that is your personal year. And I'm going to go through each year 1 to 9. And then if you really connect with the numerology and this kind of work around the energy of numbers, then you can start researching yourself and look into all the different ways that you can understand your path a bit more. And so I'll share a bit about what I already know about the numbers personally, and then I will share excerpts from Life Cycles by Christine DeLorey. I believe she coined the phrase creative numerology. And that book, even though I believe it was published in 2001 or even 2000, so it's not a new book. And you'll see that in some of the kind of quotes that she uses in it. There are some quotes where the person that the quote is attributed to, you're like, oh, most likely would not have used that quote if this was published today. But it really does offer kind of an evergreen perspective on the personal year. And she goes deep into your life path number. So, yeah, check it out if you love to learn more about the numerology. So, depending on what your number is, you can, fast forward to your number or find out the numbers of the people in your family or friends and learn about their year and share it. You can do so much with it. And let's get into year 1, the collective year, and mine and maybe yours, your personal year. So if your number, the single digit that you got to from the calculation, if it is a number 1, let me share about the 1 year cycle. Oh, and there are many calculators. I love doing addresses too. We're moving, and it really is quite beautiful, the number that we're moving into from where we're moving from. And yeah, there's just so much insight that can come from the energy of numbers. I mean, they are the language of the universe, right? Isn't that one of the things that Tesla said? You'll know the universe if you know 3, 6, and 9. So the 1 year cycle, the new beginnings. We are in the new beginning. You are starting a brand new cycle. And at the beginning of a 1 year, you may still be shedding quite a bit before you get fully into it. And this year is a journey of change. New beginnings, very authoritative leadership energy, like going for it, understanding where you are going, feeling the drive for it, and you get the support of the momentum as well. But let me share the excerpt from Christine DeLorey from Life Cycles. So if you are a 1-year, here is a bit about your personal year of 2026. And the collective too. This is interesting for, as we're moving through the happenings of the world around us. It will be in that 1 year. And we can really see how that 9-year has shown itself in 2025. So from Life Cycles, the 1 year is a journey of change, new beginnings, independence, and becoming who you really are. No matter how familiar things seem, you are on an entirely different road now. The 1 year is the first year of a brand new 9-year cycle of your life. It urges you to create a more satisfying existence by recognizing the new potential that is developing. It is a time of change and new beginnings. Last year brought an entire 9-year era of your life to an end and was probably emotionally confusing. But those experiences were necessary so that this year's new beginnings can occur. The past is over, but you will need to release the feelings and beliefs that are anchoring you to it. The 1 year is a time of new interests, experiences, goals, and understandings about life, about you, where you have been, where you are now, and where you would like to be. And because so much drastic change is required, you will also be learning the meaning of courage. 1 is the number of self, and you will gain a much greater self-awareness this year. You will learn about individuality and the vital changes that must take place within you if you are to attain what you need. You will be learning about independence, leadership, and originality, and you will need great faith in yourself in order to take appropriate action. You will encounter situations involving your deepest feelings, your unique mind and talent, and your need for greater freedom. So a short excerpt, but of course, go on a deep dive, find more for yourself. But anyone who is on this 1-year journey with me in 2026, courage. Remember your courage and do not shy away from opportunities that require courage. And if you calculated that you are moving into a 2-year, so the 2-year cycle in 2026, now the number 2 immediately for me is connecting to intuition, sensitivity, connection, understanding the unseen. Yeah, really leaning into the power of your sensitivity and cooperation, partnership. A lot can be created when 2 come together. And from Life Cycles, a little excerpt about the 2-year. The 2-year is a slow journey of connection, partnership, relationship, patience, attention to detail, cooperation, sensitivity, and gradual progress. The 2-year is an inspiring 12-month journey in which you will find exciting connections between your past, your present, and your future. Eventually, you will be able to use this information to set an ambitious goal in motion. But make no mistake, what happens this year is going to take perseverance and, above all, great patience. First, you must slow down and stop pushing to get results. What you want will take longer to achieve than expected. So tone down any high expectations of yourself and others and pay patient and meticulous attention to the details. You must learn to move more slowly, attentively, and with mutual interests in mind. See a bigger picture, widen your lens, discover your connection to everything that is influencing your life. Try to accept everything that happened in your past and simultaneously live in the present. This is no easy task. But if you make this your genuine aim and do not struggle with the slowness of it all or repress the emotions that it may trigger, the insight you gain will carry you into a future of your choice. Remember, stress is the pressure of feelings that cannot leave your body because they are being held in rather than expressed out. Whether illness is involved or not, if you do not significantly reduce your pace and your stress, the 2 energy will find a way to do it for you. You cannot compete with 2 because peace is its nature. But you will be amazed at what you can accomplish when you live your life at the same pace as the cycle you are in. This year's distractions, delays, and diversions are designed to develop your power of patience. Each situation contains an important lesson or opportunity. Be sensitive. Sense your reality. Little effort is required when it comes to your personal ambitions. This year's process of delay is actually helping them along. And if you are a 2, dive deeper. That was just a little snippet of an excerpt. There's so much information out there. And remember, none of these years are like a quote unquote bad year, because whatever cycle you are in, you are prepared for. But if you have more clarity and awareness around what the themes are, then you can be even more prepared for the invitations and the challenges. Okay, so if you are a 3, after you've done your calculations, the single digit is a number 3. Now, I did just say none of the years are technically good years, but the 3 is, I'll say, a brighter year. So if a 3-year is yours, the 3-year is a journey to personal happiness. Now, the 3 is a number of communication, of reaching out to others, of like broadcasting, of creativity. I mean, there's so much happening with the 3. And the excerpt from Life Cycles says that the 3-year is a journey to personal happiness on a sea of appearances. So for your 3-year, after a year in which other people's needs may have eclipsed your own, it is your turn now. The 3-year is a simpler and more casual 12-month cycle in which you must constantly ask yourself, what do I want? Your own long-term happiness and fulfillment are the central issues, and the 3-year cycle gives you the opportunity to discover and then create what you believe will make you happy. What you want is attainable regardless of what appears to be standing in your way. However, before the direction of your happiness can be uncovered, you first have to detect and heal the sources of your unhappiness, which, you will find, have as much to do with what is taking place in the world as it does with your own personal situations, relationships, and memories. You will have to feel what you are feeling and express those emotions in a way that is natural for you. Only then can you know what you want. Happiness is a feeling, an emotion, which can only come from inside. And there will be at least one opportunity this year to feel joy as you have never felt it before. As the 3-year progresses and you find yourself in some kind of spotlight, you will certainly need to express your alternating fears of failure and success. This release will bring you to a more comfortable state of knowing who, what, and where you are now. From this realistic perspective, a new spectrum of options will open up for you. In the 3-year, the past becomes the present you have created, and the present becomes the creative springboard from which to build your future. You may have to take a few courageous leaps in the dark. Fear will be experienced, and this will help you to develop courage and to know that you are far more capable than you ever allowed yourself to believe. With this level of self-acceptance, your leaps will turn to bounds, and this year could turn out to be your most fulfilling ever. In addition to courage, 3 represents lightness, happiness, peace, friendship, creativity, communication, beauty, youth, optimism, laughter, and love. So remember, the 3-year is a simpler and more casual 12-month cycle in which you must constantly ask yourself, what do I want? And if your number, single digit, is a 4, well, you're moving into a 4-year cycle. And the number 4 is all about stability, building. I mean, a lot of work. Also can be a lot to do with your family and your legacy. And let me share the excerpt from Life Cycles. So if you are moving into a 4-year, the 4-year is a journey of breakthrough on a sea of obstacles. But don't worry, you are prepared for it. That was me just chiming in. Okay, back to the excerpt. The 4-year cycle is one of vision, management, priority, limitation, restriction, determination, effort, and breakthrough. Your sense of identity, who you are, and what you believe is the principal theme. The events of this practical year will leave you in no doubt that the time has come to set new priorities and strive toward a specific long-term goal. 4 is the number of organization and work, how things work, making things work, and working towards something that means a lot to you. As the year unfolds, you will need to develop a clear vision of what you want and make a firm commitment to attaining it. Keep in mind that the reason the 4-year often feels confusing and sometimes difficult because its nature seems to place obstacles in your path anytime your attention is diverted from reality. Setting realistic goals not only helps you to stay focused, but often results in satisfying achievement. Whatever it is you hope to accomplish, and your priorities may change several times this year, you can be assured that it involves mental, emotional, and/or physical hard work. 4 highlights your sense of identity. Who am I and what is my purpose? May be 2 of your most frequent questions. However, your sense of identity does not come from what you do in life, but from the way you feel about it and your place in it. But there is more to you than what you do for a living. The question is, what do you do for a life? Although there may be a spurt of highly accelerated action this year, progress is usually not rapid in the 4 energy. You may often encounter delays and hurdles, and maybe even bouts of loneliness and frustration, only to regain your acceptance of reality, and with it, your balance, vision, belief in yourself, and determination. It can be one of the most fulfilling cycles you will ever experience. And now the 5 years. So if you are doing your calculations and your single digit is a 5, here is some insight on your year ahead. Now, 5 as a number is dynamic. It is a number of so much change. Change, change, change. Very fiery, very fast. It may feel very difficult to even try to slow down what is happening in the 5-year, but the 5 being just over the middle of the cycle is a really important year. And if you look back at your other 5 years, you may see the change that happened in that year was kind of key to the years that came after that. And from life cycles, about the 5-year cycle. The 5-year is a journey of freedom, change, adventure, new experience, and learning from mistakes. You enter your personal 5-year cycle of freedom at a time in humanity's journey when freedom itself is one of the most important aspects. You will have to devise some resourceful and innovative ways to retain and expand your freedom, whatever that may mean to you, while you are being urged to do just the opposite. Remember the old adage, freedom defined is freedom denied. 5 is the number of diversity, travel, and different cultures. Whatever you are dealing with, seek a deeper understanding of what is involved. Awareness of reality is the best safety net you can have in this exciting and unpredictable cycle. 5 is also the number of change, chance, variety, choice, different belief systems, the sudden, the unexpected, the unusual, and the physical. This year will be quite an experience for you, a new experience. Regardless of what is happening globally, the world is opening up for you now and is inviting you to experience it to the fullest. Yes, experience itself is what is on offer this year. In order to receive it, and in order to retain your freedom, some mistakes may have to be made. Remember that a mistake becomes experience when its lesson is learned and not repeated. Allow your mistakes to evolve into expertise. Alexander Graham Bell, for instance, invented the telephone by mistake. He was actually trying to invent a hearing aid. One of the biggest mistakes you could make this year is giving up on something before you've given yourself the opportunity to experience it in a state of freedom. You do not always have to lose what you have in order to get what you want. Guilt disguising itself as fear can make you feel this way. Your mistake will no longer be a source of guilt and disappointment. It will no longer be a mistake. It will be an experience. In the 5-year, you will soon realize that freedom is always a matter of the choices you make. And if you are in the 6 cycle, if your number deduced to a single digit of 6, get ready. Get ready for all the years. I mean, what year is not dynamic, right? If your number reduced to a 6, this could be a really, really beautiful year for you. If you listen to the 5, you know what you're preparing for the 6. That now it's time in the 6th year to find harmony, to find balance, to find love. It is the number of healing. It is the number of kind of daily tasks that support you in all levels of your being. It's a grounded number, but let's hear from life cycles. The 6th year is a time to reinvent yourself, a journey of responsibility, relationship, balance, love, and healing. Our most basic instinct is survival, but when we, our loved ones, or our beliefs are threatened, we can take some amazingly extreme protective measures. However, we often fail to realize that the extremes we run to can turn out to be more dangerous than the original threat. There are now 3 powerful lanes of energy open to you. On the left and right, there are the unstable fringes of opposite extremes. The center lane is balance, and this is where you need to focus. Welcome to the 6-year cycle in which you will feel a growing sense of duty and priority. Accept that you do have responsibilities, but don't assume you already know what they are. As the year proceeds, you will realize that at least one responsibility is no longer yours and was never yours to begin with. Your primary obligation is to yourself, or you will be in no position to take care of others. In the 6th year, you will want to become more self-reliant and secure to establish your place in the world. The 6th year emphasizes love in matters of the heart, including marriage, family, children, parents, close friends, duty, healing, education, security, peace, and creativity. Both the pleasures and the problems of your personal life will predominate. When love is your motivation, almost anything can be achieved. First, however, it may be necessary to learn the difference between love and control. The 6th year gives you the power of magnetism. You will attract whatever you focus on far more easily this year. You are on a journey of power and priority. It is a journey of learning the truth of how you feel about your various relationships. It is a journey of healing the gaps between generations, genders, judgments, and individuals. It is a journey of peace. It is the journey of love. And if you're moving into a 7-year, 7 is the most spiritual number, so this may be an introspective year for you, a lot of spiritual learning, self-development, growth. So from life cycles, if you are going into your 7-year, the 7-year, the inner voyage, a year of learning. Welcome to the 7-year cycle. 7 energy flows in an atmosphere of privacy, solitude, and quietness. It is constantly seeking answers to its steady stream of questions about itself and life. It is seeking truth, wisdom, dignity, fulfillment, and perfection. This year, so are you. However, without knowing its purpose, the 7 journey can be confusing or even depressing. No matter how much you want to surge ahead, this is a year of learning how to create the conditions you truly want for yourself. In the process, 7 will expose you to aspects of your life which you have become dissatisfied. so that you can realize just how perfect and satisfying your life can become if you are willing to make the changes that need to be made. Only then will you know where you truly belong in this rapidly evolving and uncertain world. In this more self centered year, you will be seeking and finding a direction that feels right for you. A more serious side of your nature will emerge, along with a stark awareness that the status quo is simply not good enough anymore. Slow yourself down and admit that you feel lost on life's great churning ocean. You are not sure of what you want, and even if you are sure, you know you're never going to get it unless you make a serious commitment to it. Do not panic. Being lost may be the only way to find out where you are, which is exactly where you are meant to be. You are on schedule. No matter how spiritually or materially advanced you think you are, the reflective power of 7 will expose any empty space in your life, which can make you feel quite lonely. Accept that this emptiness exists, and you will discover the fullness of your true capabilities. You see that emptiness is your own unfulfilled potential. Life stretches way beyond our own private environments. Beyond this living planet, we are connected to an entire universe which is brimming with life and energy that we cannot even imagine. Explore every aspect of your own reality, and by the end of this year, there will be no doubt as to who and what you are and where you fit into the ever-changing kaleidoscope we call life. If you think you already know your true identity, you may be in for some interesting and possibly shocking revelations. The 7-year enables you to discover how perfect you and your life can become when your emotional will teams up with your knowledge. And if you are moving into an 8-year cycle, this is a year of potentially big reward for all of the work, all of the preparation, everything that you have moved through. When you come to the 8-year, the fruits may be really coming together. And good luck. There's so much more luck in the 8-year. And you can really understand that if you listen to the 7-year of why the 8 would bring this. So if your single digit was the 8, let me share more from Life Cycles about the 8-year cycle. The 8-year is a time to develop personal power. It is a journey of true understanding, reward, balance, and achievement. You get what you want in the 8-year. You really do. However, if what you want is out of touch with reality, it could end up being a liability. And if you don't know what you want, life will react with the same level of uncertainty. This year, you must be specific and realistic. The 8-year is a time of self-empowerment, which starts with the often startling realization of how little power you actually have in the world. And that is up to you to regain your power and find a way to live as freely as possible. This year, you will prosper according to the strength of your determination, the accuracy of the information you take in, and the depth of your awareness. Throughout the year, your ability to make things happen and get things done will increase. Your expectations will rise, along with your confidence and feelings of satisfaction. 8 is the number of power, material, and financial gain, achievement, rewards, status, and satisfaction. The 8-year vibration will provide the means, the personal power, with which to change the status quo and accomplish a significant goal that will alter the direction and quality of your journey. But there is an aspect of 8 that is rarely spoken about. Yes, 8 is the number of power in the material world, but it is also the number of accurate information, without which power cannot sustain itself. In fact, accurate information is not always enough. There also has to be correct understanding of that information. Otherwise, it is useless to you. True understanding produces perfect balance from which visions can be turned into material reality. The feeling of inner satisfaction is the ultimate reward of the 8-year, but it may take all year to correctly understand why its value is so great. And now we are at the 9, the year collectively that we're in 2025. So if you're moving in to a 9-year, if you're in an 8 now and moving into a 9, get ready. Get ready for the great shedding, the transformation, the endings, feeling like you're on that threshold as things do change drastically by leaving your life. But again, don't worry. You are prepared for it. And from Life Cycles, an excerpt for the 9-year, if this is your single digit for 2026, the 9-year is the end of an era, going back to claim your future. The 9-year brings you to an end of a complete 9-year cycle of your life. It is a year to complete unfinished business, reach conclusions, and tie up loose ends. These actions will help you step into the next 9 years of your life without the pressure of unresolved matters of the past pulling you back. As one door closes, another opens. But if you refuse to accept that certain doors really have closed, you will be unable to recognize the new possibilities. The 9-year helps you to face the absolute reality of your past and how it is impacting your present, and then decide how you want to create your future. The 9-year brings significant transformations, alterations, and improvements to all areas of your life. Even though you may not immediately see the positive merits of certain situations, when the old buried emotion that is weighing you down is released, life suddenly becomes a lighter experience, and it is more easily understood and enjoyed. In the 9-year, unhappy memories arise so they can be healed, creating more inner space for happiness to resurface. Inaccurate beliefs are replaced by new truths and potentials. As you accept what has happened to you, you develop a clearer picture of what you want to happen. The old you becomes the present you, and your will, your desire, determines the future you. Not all endings have unhappy emotions attached. Some situations will be concluded, bringing you much relief. Don't assume the worst. Accept that your past is the ground you had to cover in order to get where you want to be. Your understanding of this will make your 9-year one of the most exhilarating and dynamic journeys you will ever travel. So yes, I hope that by hearing a bit about the themes and energy around your personal year that you're moving into in 2026 was helpful. And yeah, get into numerology if you feel curious and you enjoyed kind of the concept of energy around numbers. And remember, one thing that is always a great way to use these kind of cycles when you're diving into them is to look back, to look at your last 9-year cycle, to look at your last 2-year cycle. So, whatever cycle you're moving into in 2026, do a little bit of an inventory on the last time you were in that cycle and connect to any themes, connect to what you went through. What experiences, what challenges, what invitations, because that can give you a lot of insight into what you're moving into for 2026. And of course, it's not everything. All of these modalities are aspects of the energy. We all have our own narrative as well. But I do find using the numerology of your personal year can be a really great anchor. And remember, if you do feel like, wow, this year I want to change. I want to change my job. I want to change my life. I want to actually do what my soul is calling for me to do. I want to remember my purpose and how to express it. And there are many ways, not just one. In February, I do have 2 spaces opening up for my 4-month journey. The key, it is my signature healing process. It is life-changing soul work, and I use that term from my testimonials, but it also has practical and grounded results. So if you're looking for one-on-one support, kind of starting out in the new year, the astrological new year is in March, and the Lunar New Year is in February, so yeah, February can be a really great new start month, and you can reach out. I'll put all the links in the show notes, and yeah, February will be here before we even know it, and one of my favorite months, I'm saying sarcastically because I say it like 100 different ways whenever I say it. Sometimes I add the R, sometimes I don't. Yeah, I feel like that's never going to change. So just putting that out there. So, yes, go to the show notes and you'll find everything there. And happy holidays to all who celebrate. Happy New Year. I will talk to you on the 1st. That will be the January energy impressions. But until then, I hope that you are surrounded by love and are able to get as much rest as possible. And you're really taking care of yourself as we end this year, this big, big year that we all just went through, and get ready for the new, fresh chapter that we're moving into in 2026. And thank you so much for all of your support over the year, for listening, for sharing my episodes, for reaching out when something resonated, for booking with me, for working with me. I mean, yeah, I am so forever grateful. It is actually shocking that I get to live my dream because this is my dream. Everything that I'm doing is what I dreamed of. It was a dream I didn't even know was available in 2016. So thank you. Thank you. And remember, be extra kind to yourself and others. And I will talk to you next year. Okay. I will talk to you on January 1st. All right.
Hi, Auntie Mary. I just wanted to say something very, very meaningful. Cat.